Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. It is our pleasure and privilege to provide to you world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Our show today is the Mallorca Connection, and we are going to be discussing life's daily transformations. Every day something comes up. Do you view it as an opportunity, or is it a curse, or is it something that you're dreading or something that you're looking forward to? We're going to explore this about how to experience change in a positive way with the star of our show, Mr. Roland-Friedl. He has been with me since the beginning. He's done hundreds of episodes on this show as well as other shows, and we're thrilled that he is joining us today. He's an entrepreneur. He's an advocate for men, and he also is a coach, a mentor, and I think an author. Let's find out. Are you an author yet, my friend?
Hello there, jacalyn. Hello to our audience. Still in progress. I finished one book in 2 languages, but I'm still in progress to launch it. And the other book is in the middle, more or less.
All right, we're going to give you the author. There you go.
Okay.
So thanks for being with us. I know that you're traveling. We just did the show together. It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. So hopefully people can tune into that. If they missed it, go over to our YouTube channels and check it out. So Roland, you deal with change on a regular basis. And I have to say, from knowing you for a number of years now, you are great at dealing with change. You embrace it. You look at it as an opportunity, whereas many people look at it as a curse, as a punishment. Why did this happen to me? Why can't everything stay the same way? So if you could give us a little bit of background on yourself in terms of some change in your life that maybe you were not looking forward to at the time, but ended up being something tremendously positive.
Oh my gosh, there have been many things in my life. I remember when during university on my studies, I was working a little bit, to make some extra money because I didn't accept money from my dad, and I was working for a huge newspaper company, and I was selling newspapers, not newspapers itself. I think how to call it when they get it frequently delivered to the house. So I was selling this we call it Abo in German. And I was very, very successful in this. I sold, I don't know how much. I was the number one in my country, in Austria. So after a few months, they offered me a job as a sales manager. So as an employee, I was working as a freelancer. So I had a booth stand in shopping malls or in different highly frequented areas on train stations, stuff like that, talking to people. Hey, are you interested to get this newspaper on a daily basis at home, blah, 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 blah. So I was selling like crazy. It was a lot of fun for me. So they offered me a job, I will never forget this, as a sales manager, so fully employed. So I was working in the headquarters as a sales manager, having a huge team of these freelancers all over my country. And I didn't like the job at all, to be honest. And I had a 3 months trial, and after 3 months they decide if they continue with me or not. And after 3 months they kicked me out. And this was my first time in my life that somebody said no to me. I was never used to that somebody says no to me. I always was successful, even in my college time and my students' time, whatever job I did was successful. And they fired me. And it was shocking for me. And to be honest, actually, many times the last 35 years. I said, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that they fired me. Can you imagine? I'm still staying with this newspaper, becoming an alcoholic like all the other colleagues there. I'm so happy that I don't stay anymore with this media enterprise. But it was a shock in the beginning. And there are many, many things that seemed to be very tremendous in the beginning. I really was shocked. And afterwards, I felt so free, to be honest. And there was always a reason behind. And what I learned is when one door closes, even when it's painful in the beginning, another door opens. So I see this always as a new opportunity. When one door closes, for whatever reason, if it's in business or private, both sides, another door opens. So I love changes. Sometimes, I'm depending. Sometimes in a mood, I said, "Oh no, not again! I just changed yesterday. Not again. Give me a break, please." Of course, sometimes I feel overwhelmed too, but more or less, I can handle change very, very good, and I don't feel triggered like, I don't know, 95% of the population feels triggered. I have no issues with change. Absolutely not.
I love how passionate you are about that. And, if since I met you, I have to really give you credit for this. I look at change in a different way as well. I look at it as a learning experience. What am I meant to take away from this? And then what's coming next? What is coming after this? So instead of getting upset, I really work on embracing it and thinking to myself, I don't know where this is going to go. And I'll give an example. And I don't know if this person is watching. I'm not going to say their name, but someone asked to have a meeting with me. And I thought the meeting was about one thing. And the meeting was about something completely and totally different. And the person ended up doing this reading. They're an intuitive, and they just did this reading on me. And I was just going with it because I kept thinking, wow, I have no idea where this is going. And I thought we were talking about something completely different. And 2 days later, I felt this incredible burst of energy that I still have. And I really attribute it to this person doing this inspirational reading, the spiritual reading. So you just don't know where something's going to go. So being open, I think, makes a big difference. Now, I also would like to have you touch on, as a coach, as a mentor, as an entrepreneur, as someone who has had countless meetings with people all across the world, how does one train themselves to look at change in a positive way? Because we can say it all day long, but unless somebody makes an effort, it doesn't come naturally to people. What do you think?
No, for me too. It was for me and my clients. It's a learning process. It's a learning process. Absolutely. I mean, as I said before, when change is one of the toughest triggers people can experiencing. Yeah, people don't like change because they're used to do it in a certain way, and people believe in certainty. I don't believe in certainty. I believe more in possibilities or options. But people look for security and they think there's certainty. It's absolutely not. But it's a learning process, especially if you want to be successful in life, in whatever area you want to be successful. I think you have to learn to live with change, and the world is changing faster every day. Every minute something new is coming up, more information, different things. So we have to adapt to this, and it's a learning process. I think the first thing is what I learned for myself, and what I do with my clients is, what triggers you? Why are you triggered by a change? What is it exactly? And mostly it is the reason for it because we have just biased information. We don't see the whole information. We hear something, maybe a grapevine or something like that. So mostly we are triggered by change because we don't have the full data, the full information. It's just biased. And then what we do is we fill this gap with the information we don't have. We fill this gap with assumptions, and mostly it's not the right ones. We have assumptions. We get a negative mind, negative thoughts. This gives us negative emotions. And with negative emotions, we don't act properly, so we get negative actions. Negative actions end up in negative results, and these negative results more or less confirms our negative thoughts, and then we have even more negative thoughts, even more negative emotion. We get even more results, and then we have this downward loop. And so to get out of it, the first thing is, what triggers me exactly? What is it exactly? Is it real or not? Is it just in my mind that I I produce, my mind is producing, or is it real? What is the data? Getting away from biased data, so getting the real facts. What's the data? That's the third thing. And when you have this, meaning getting out of this negative, I call it content loop, of this negative spiral of negative thought, negative emotion, negative action, negative result. That's the first thing, getting out of it. How do you realize that you're in a negative content loop? Before you show three actions. You get aggressive because you're overwhelmed. Some people when they're overwhelmed, they get aggressive. Other people are escaping from the situation. And the third option is people get passive. I'm not here, like a child. I close my eyes, you can't see me. So when there's one of these three behaviors, aggression, escaping, or passivity, becoming passive, this is a sign that you are in a negative content loop, meaning that you have a biased information. You don't have the full information. You're assuming things. You get in a negative content loop. That's the first thing. Okay, when you realize one of these three behaviors is there, then stop immediately and say, okay, why I'm behaving like this? What triggers me? What are the real facts? What are the real information? Sort them, prioritize them, and then go on task, work on task. It seems so easy, but it's a process, and there's a lot of practice needed.
That's so true. And by the way, you just referenced this, and we also talked about it on the last show. When you're working with someone, it's someone that you feel is committed to making a change. They really want to work with you, and they want to do what it takes. Now, when I've worked with some clients, in the beginning, they had a commitment to doing something, and then I could tell that their heart wasn't really in it, and they were doing it for some other reason. And we talked about this briefly. But when change or transformation comes in, you're with a partner, and the partner wants you to change because that will make he or she or them happy, but you're not happy about it. What do you say to a client in that case?
Run away as soon as possible. Yeah, I know. I've been married 2 times for a long time. I've always been longer. That's not working. I mean, to be honest, I never try to change my partner. And if a partner tries to change me, what I learned, I run away. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean, it doesn't mean for the man speaking, when you're fucking asshole to stay as an asshole, you always can improve, yeah? But that it must be an internal motivation, an internal reference. You want to change. That's also important. We had this conversation about weight management. You want to lose weight. You want to change. Then it's working. It's not working when it comes from outside. It's not working on the long term. It's not sustainable. Not at all. No, it's not working. No, run away. Run away. That's my advice.
But so that is a topic in and of itself, because people are in dysfunctional relationships, whether it's personal, whether it's family, whether it's business, but people will continue to stay for some reason. There could be an entire list. Like, for example, and you've mentioned this before, we tell people what we don't want, but we don't tell people what we do want, because half the time we don't even know. But we know we're not happy, but we decide to make a change would hurt other people. So we would rather be hurt ourselves. This is what we tell ourselves, whether that's true or not. What are your thoughts about that? Because to me, I think that's an excuse. We're staying because we don't want to hurt someone.
That's an absolute excuse. I remember when I was sorry for my first word. When I was in a not happy relationship, I also had this excuse. I'm not leaving, even it's painful for me because of my small kids. And then I found out my kids already realize, even though they're small, that I'm not happy and it's not working. There's a lot of arguing. So I said, okay, I step out of the situation. And my kids learned that they have 2 families now. Yeah, my wife and her new partner, and myself with my new partner. So we always find excuses. Absolutely, we always find excuses. No, it's the point is that some people really don't want to disappoint other people. Maybe it comes from a childhood trauma that they haven't been seen, they haven't been heard, they haven't been loved, they haven't been accepted. So the so-called people pleaser, they do everything for somebody else, not for themselves, for somebody else to be seen, to be heard, to be loved, or whatever. This is a childhood trauma, so we have to fix this first. Why is it coming from? What's the source of it? Why you're acting like this? What is absolutely not healthy for you, especially for your mental health? I had this in the same, we had this discussion, and I was part of your program. I had a very bad childhood as a 8-year torture of being sexually abused. And I was working on that, so I could use it as an excuse for not doing anything, and everybody else is fault, and I feel like a victim. But I was working on that and working on the trauma, and this was a game changer. And I'm not a people pleaser anymore. I'm helping people. Yeah, of course, I support people, but I'm not a people pleaser. I don't do it to be loved. I don't do it to be seen or whatever. I do it because I want to do it. That's something different. I want to support people. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. And I don't know if I've already shared the story, but many years ago, when I joined a training, when I was trained by a trainer, there was a lady, I did coaching with her, and a very good lady, young lady, mid-30s, very successful in her home. She was a lawyer, very successful, luxury house, married, no kids. And she always was wearing large sunglasses. You couldn't see her blue swollen eyes because her husband was beating her all the time when he was drunk. And she was a coaching client myself. It was about, getting out of the victim's role. There's only a predator when you are willing to become a victim. Yeah. And so I was coaching her. And one day I said to her, you know what? To be honest, maybe there was a good relationship already. There was trust built up. And I said, hey, my God, you look good. You're successful. You're making your own. Why the heck, leaving this bastard? And you know what? She said, and I still get boom gun when I think of it. She said to me, with him, I already know how to protect myself. So she had more fear about the future, about the next partner. Maybe she was expecting to get beaten too, and she has no strategy at the moment how to protect herself. But with this partner, she already had a strategy how she can protect more or less, so it's not so painful that it could be. And that's really weird that people stay in situation, they learn to deal with it, and yeah, they have more fear from the new because they're, as I said, they're so triggered by change. They have more fear of the new that could be much better, but they don't see it. And then they stay with the things they already know and they already learn to deal with, even when it's painful, even when it's not satisfying, even when it's just shit, but they learn to deal with it. That's most people do it. So what they're doing is, most people is, they're justifying the status quo. That's what they're doing. They're justifying the status quo. They don't want to change. And that's a huge obstacle on your way to a healthy, happy, fulfilled life.
Yes, I definitely understand what you're talking about, because I've had people I've known in my life who were in really dysfunctional relationships where they were getting abused. And one phrase I heard over and over again was, the devil I know is better than the one I don't know.
Absolutely. And this is weird. I mean, for me, it's absolutely weird, but yeah, it is. That's how people function, because they're so scared about the unknown. Absolutely. Yeah.
So if someone were to come to you and they shared that was their situation, what would you say to them? Would you work with them? Would you refer them to a therapist? What would you say?
Well, I can work with them to a certain degree if there's a therapist needed, because I'm not a therapist. Of course, I hand them over to a therapist. What I do with people who are there's two directions. Should I go this way or this way? Should I leave him or not? Should I do this business or this business? Should I stop this or do this, whatever? So when it's about making a decision, I use a strategy. I guess I shared it already here on one of the shows. Is I do something that really is very, very powerful, very, very simple, very powerful. You just need a plain piece of paper, and you divide this paper. I'm gonna show that. You have a piece of paper, and I just divide it and say, old one, new one, old way, new way, old behaving, new way, old situation, new way. Okay, then. And what do you ever do? Then you split it again. I just type it. So, just a piece of paper. Can you see it? Old one, new one. Yes. And then we split it and I say plus, minus, minus, plus. So meaning we start with the positive one. What is the positive outcome for you staying in this old situation? Because there is a reason why somebody's staying. Maybe it's not consciously, maybe it's unconsciously that we see a benefit in staying in a certain situation or doing something or getting not, I don't know, not losing weight or not stop smoking or staying in this job or this relationship, whatever it is. So there must be something that holds you back. Maybe you're not conscious about it. So this is a good process to be aware of what, that you're not aware, sorry, the right word, that you're not, maybe not aware about it, why it holds you back. So there must be something positive. If it is sounds totally weird, why hold it back? So what I do with my clients is in the coaching, always work on that. Find out that this is a long process. What is it? What is it? So I'm really asking questions, asking why you're staying, why this, why that. So there's something positive. Why are you staying? So we work on this list really deeply, and to be honest, it's not about 10 minutes of free question. Really, you have to start deeper, because the person is not aware about their staying in the old behaving, in the old situation, whatever it is, in the old job or old relationship. So what's the positive? But even if it's so painful, even if it's not satisfying, there must be something positive. Maybe your mental, your soul, whatever you want to call it, protects you from the new and said, okay, stay. What do you say? I know the old devil. Okay. So it gives me security. I know already how to protect, or whatever it is. I know how to handle an aggressive boss in my job or whatever. Okay. So finding out all the positive why you stay in. That's why I start with them. And then we go to the negative. What's negative? What is not good? And then we go to the negative from the new one, not to the positive, because the step is too far. We start with the negative. What is your fear? What is your fear that could be in the new one that holds you back to move? Well, what are you afraid of? And then we all have written all this down, so people are aware about why they're staying in the old shit. The negative one, they know, of course, yeah, but they have to be aware about the positive one, and then have to be aware what they fear from the unknown new. They have to be aware of this, and then we go to the positive one. So this is the way I coach people, and this is a very simple tool, but very helpful that people get the first time in life aware why they're stuck in this negative situation, even it's so painful. They want to get out of it, but I don't know why I'm still there. And it many years ago, it helped me in getting out of situations that are not really healthy for me. That I learned it's not, I didn't invent this. I learned it from somebody. And it was so powerful for me to get out of this old situation, getting into the new with, being really motivated and looking forward without being any anxieties. And that's why I use this still since 30 years. It's very helpful.
That's a great tool, Roland. Thank you for sharing that with us. I hadn't seen that before. One thing that I've heard from people in coaching sessions is, I have to stay because he needs me. She needs me. They won't be able to do X, Y, and Z without me. And they come across from almost like an ego perspective. But yet I pose the question in a different way, is what is the value they're bringing to your life? Well, they're not bringing any, but they can't make it without me because I'm making the money, because I pay the bills, because I do this, because I do that. What do you think's behind that?
Well, the brutal truth is that when a girl, for example, said he needs me to stay for any reason, the truth is that she needs him to feel worthy, to feel needed, to feel seen. That's the truth. It's the other way around. It's just the other way around. It sounds weird. It's the other way around. Yeah. The person said, I can't leave because he needs me or she needs me. The truth is, no, I need to stay here because I want to serve. I only feel fulfilled when I can serve. This how do you call it? This helper syndrome. Yeah. I don't know, call it helper syndrome in English. In German, it's helper syndrome. So people need it. They need it. They need it for the ego. They need it to be loved. They need it to be seen that they help somebody who is, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, we see it very often.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's exactly what comes up for me when I think about that. But they don't want to actually look at themselves. They turn the whole thing around because then they go from being in a position where they feel empowered because somebody needs them, as opposed to being humble and feeling vulnerable because they really need the other person.
Absolutely. It's a power play in a relationship. We see it very often.
Absolutely. So you mentioned also about work. Let's say someone has a superiors, a supervisor, and they're really not able to get along with that person, yet they don't want to step up and say anything to that person and see if they could possibly figure out a better way to deal with one another. So they go around bad-mouthing the person all through the organization instead of making a change themselves and raising their hand and possibly saying, this isn't for me, it's not working out. They go and say negative things about the other person. We see this happening all the time. What do we call this?
It's funny because I had a client last year, and she said, "Yeah, he always feels like a victim. He's a GM of an international company, and he also feels a victim." I said, "Yeah, I'm always there. They need my skills, my experience for 5 years, and when I'm successful, they treat me like shit and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about changing again, the company." And I said, "Yeah, you can run away again, but I can guarantee you it will happen again. It's a pattern." And we have to find out why there's a pattern. What's going on in your mind? What's going on in your past? Because it happened not the first time; it happened already the fourth time in an international company. He goes there for 5 years, and then they treat him like shit. Although he has been successful, that's a pattern. You kind of run away, but the same thing is happening. So find out what's going on with you. Why are you behaving like this? And then we found out he had a daddy issue. He had a daddy issue, and then we solved this problem. And he's still with the company, still successful, and he's much more accepted now by the owners. Much more accepted, differently. He learned to say no. He learned to set boundaries and stuff like that, and now it's working. And he was so surprised that this is working. But as I said in the beginning, people want to run away, but you always kind of run away, but you're taking with you yourself and your patterns. You have to change your pattern. You have to look at your first, why is it happening to me? When I say happening to me, why is it happening to me? When it comes again and again and again in different situations with different people in different venues or events, then there's a certain pattern behind it. And you have to change this. You have to find out, what is it? Why are people treating me like that? Or let's say, why do I accept that people treat me like this? What is it? Where's it coming from? Is it from my childhood, any trauma, and any negative belief system, whatever it is? We have to fix this first, or find out first and be aware of it, what it is, because otherwise you're repeating it all the time. So yeah, it's very, very important to have a look at it. Why do you have this pattern? Why it comes again and again, whatever it is?
Very true. And now something I want to ask you about. What are some of the factors or some of the decision-making criteria, using what you just shared, to help someone evaluate Ben Franklin close positives, negatives? Is it having a certain number on one side and a lesser number on the other side? Is it health related? Is it financially related? What are some of the key factors that a person can evaluate when they're feeling vulnerable and saying, okay, the facts speak for themselves? I'm being abused. Whatever it is, he or she is spending money like there's no tomorrow. We're going broke. Something has to change. And regardless of my inability to move forward, the facts are speaking for themselves. I have to do something.
Good question. I mean, again, for me, it's not a... Sorry?
I said that's why they keep me here.
Yeah. Well, as I said in the beginning, it's most people are not aware about the patterns. They're absolutely not aware what is going on. They want to go away from a bad situation because, of course, they feel it that it's not helpful. They feel it it's painful. They feel it's not satisfying. They feel that it keeps them away from being successful or whatever. But they have absolutely no idea why they are still in the situation. And this happened to me too in earlier years. why are people stealing from me? And actually, that happened last year again. Why are people stealing from me? Why is this happening? What's the pattern behind this? And mostly we are not aware of it. And I can speak for myself. I found it in my childhood, and actually, I used a therapist or a mentor, and I also used for myself just going in silent, not be distracted by anything, by food, by alcohol, by social media, TV, or whatever. Just being myself and reflecting on it. Okay, and then it came up. Oh my gosh, why are things happening to me? And they happen to me because I allow it to happen to me, and I have to realize why it is, and then I can stop it and I can change it. So I have to know what's the reason for it. So again, most people are not aware about their patterns, and they try to force themselves. There are so many positive quotes. You have to do this, you have to do this. My 7 steps to success, or my 5 goals for whatever, my 5 golden nuggets. It's all nice, but it's never sustainable as long as you're not aware about your patterns that holds you back of having already the life that you want. There's a reason for that. And it makes absolutely no sense to go to a coach that gives you tips and tricks, whatever, as long as you're not aware of what your patterns are, or as long as you're not healing your wounds, why it is like it is. That's my learning, and it's not only for myself, from many other coaches that really do a good job, and from their clients to my clients. First of all, you have to heal yourself, your traumas, your father wounds, daddy wounds, whatever it is, your negative beliefs. You have to get rid of that first, being aware, getting rid of work on that. And then you can go and see, okay, what are the 5 golden nuggets? What are the 7 steps to success, or whatever it is? Because I see so many coaches at the moment on social media that, I don't know, working about manifestation and stuff like that. Yeah, you can do it with your mind, but the problem is that your heart or your soul is not with you. And with your mind, it's not working at all. Short time, yes, but it costs you a lot of energy to keep this level in your mind. So you have to work on yourself. And then when your heart says yes, then it's working.
Thank you, Roland. Excellent points there. I do have a follow-up for you. You were talking about patterns of behavior, and some of us have routines. We have a routine. We get up, we do this, we do that. It's the same routine every day. So can those routines also be unhealthy? Because in some ways, a routine can give us the feeling of stability, the feeling of being productive, the feeling of I have a reason to get up in the morning. What are your thoughts about routines compared to destructive behavior patterns? Because you might have a daily routine, you're getting up and you're having 10 cups of coffee and you're like, wow, this is great. But that doesn't mean it's a healthy thing, even though it's part of a routine.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a daily morning routine. Of course, I do things that gives me power. That motivates me in the morning. So when I wake up, we have this conversation. I do a grateful. I call it a grateful meditation. I just go through my mind what I'm really grateful of it. I just like little things. Thank you to be still alive. I'm 60 now. Thank you for being still alive. Thanks to be healthy. Thanks to be. Thank you for being in a safe place. Thanks for my amazing friends have around me. Thanks for my family, and stuff like that. So that's my morning routine. Then I walk my dog, getting fresh air, nature. So I have a routine that is helpful for me. But I know what you mean. Many people have a routine that is not healthy for your physical health, for your mental health. I see so many people that get up in the morning, having a huge cup of caffeine, switching on the TV or the radio, get all the shit from all the world, all the crises, all the disasters into there. Even if you don't listen actively, but unconsciously, it gets in your mind, this negative emotions, this negative news. So this is not helpful. And then you're arguing already in the morning, and you're pissed off in the morning. Maybe you have your partner, you're stressed with your kids, and then you drive your car to the office, and then you're pissed off because you're in a rush, and then you're pissed off because, I don't know, somebody took the parking lot and stuff like that. So a lot of people start the day, some consciously, but many people unconsciously, in a very negative mood. So they start already very negatively. You get up in the morning, you're fresh, you're full of power. Hopefully you get a good sleep. You're full of power. And then you start already very, very negative. I don't understand this. So I don't switch on a TV. Well, actually, I don't have a TV set. I have a radio in my motorhome, but I never use it. I realized. So I because no, I don't want to have any negative things during the day, but especially not in the morning. No arguing. I love coffee. I'm a coffee. I wouldn't say I'm a coffee addict, but I love the taste and smell of coffee. But I never have a coffee in the morning when I get up. I only have water, my supplements, and stuff like that. So I have a daily routine, but one that is healthy for my physical body and for my mental body. Yeah, that's what daily routines. Yes, but the good ones. Yeah, the good ones. But you're right. Most people are in a routine and they're absolutely not aware what they're doing. Sometimes when I visit somebody, I meet somebody, they invite me to their house, and I see the routine, and somebody I say, okay, first of all, I always ask him if they want to have a feedback. I never give a feedback. I will not ask for. Whatever the feedback, what I just observe from another point of view, I said, yes, are you aware that you're doing this? And most people tell me, oh no, really, it's automatically. It's automatically. It's on auto. I just call it on auto run. And most people are not aware. I guess that's our job as coaches and mentors, to really tip on it and say, hey, look at this. Are you aware of what you're doing on a daily basis? Are you aware of what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're behaving, what you're eating, what you're drinking, whatever it is? Because most people are just stuck in this and then absolutely don't realize what they're doing.
Absolutely. And by the way, as coaches, we know that we have a certain way that we bring this up. And I love that you shared, are you open for feedback? I have some feedback for you, whatever the case is. So I'd love to just close out for people who observe ineffective patterns of behavior, or people who feel fearful of making change. There's always someone who goes, well, that's what's wrong with you. You like to just stay in the same place and make the same mistakes over and over. Boom, 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 boom. Any feedback you have for those folks who are open to hearing it?
Yeah, I'm just smiling at you. A very good friend. He's a lovely guy. A very good friend of mine. He hired me to mentor him to meet a girl. And I introduced him to one. She said something, and he always had advice for her. Unasked feedback. And I said, oh my gosh, what the heck are you doing all the time? And afterwards I said, are you aware about what you're doing, why it's not working, why she's escaping? He said, no. It was a nice conversation. I said, yes, it was a nice conversation from your point of view. You were talking all the time and giving advice and show the other person how cool you are, and show the person how much skills and knowledge you have. But that's not the point. Yeah, absolutely. Most people give feedback or advice when it's not appropriate. We have to ask for permission if the other person is open to it or not. Yeah, so important. That was mine. It just happened a few days ago.
I sometimes I just shake my head because I teach listening courses, and people will call up and they'll just I think, okay, you broke all the rules. I can't even say anything. I just let them go on and on and on. And then finally they'll say, what do you think? And I'll say, are you open for feedback? I do teach people how to listen and how to ask permission to give feedback. And you didn't do any of the things that I teach. So may I suggest you take my course and then come back to me and propose whatever you were saying again. And then we have a good laugh about it. So
yeah, but to be honest, it's not their fault. We are trained in school that we perform, and we are better than others because we want to get the better job and the better options. So, and of course we are competitive. And when we are competitive, we also want to show that we know more and have more skills and experience. And we don't learn to listen in school. We don't learn to listen.
Yeah, it's very true.
Relearn it. You have to relearn it.
Very true. Well, my friend, I've enjoyed listening to you today, and I appreciate you taking these 2 hours for our platform. And I'd love to have you share a little bit about your own platform as well, because you're an excellent interviewer and you have opportunities for people who speak German. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, actually, a little bit more than a year ago, I started with a German-speaking platform. And the reason was, to be honest, was USA Global TV and Radio, when we had this successful Wild at Heart show with 7 men from different countries and backgrounds. And I said, okay, I want to do this in German again. And then it started in German very successfully. And then ladies came to me and I said, hey, can you interview with me too? And it's a lot of fun. I love to interview people. I guess I have a good feeling to talk with people. I just love to listen to them. I just love to ask questions. The feedback always get, thanks for the question. It's a lot of fun for me. Actually, the last few weeks, I was interviewing, if somebody speaks German, with John Eigner. He was the first guy in the German-speaking countries who started with Menswear in 2007 already. We have a little bit same past. He was a photo model. I was modeling. He stood in the industry as a photographer. I left the industry. But we have the same issues. We have I share a lot of stories that are very similar. And if you speak German, get into it. The first one was sexual attraction. The second one was magical date. And the third one was cosmic sex. It was an amazing trilogy of this. So if you're into improving yourself as a man, if you want to improve your partnership, your relationship with your partner, if you'll be a healthy, fulfilled, and joyful life, and you speak German, you're more than welcome to come to YouTube to Roland Media. Have fun. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for the opportunity to share this.
Thank you, Roland. As you know, I love to watch our team members grow and collaborate and support one another and meet new people. So you're doing a phenomenal job. And again, just a true testament to the fact that you are living on the road in your beautiful motorhome and you were able to join us so people can work from where they are. So thank you again. And hopefully we'll see you again next week.
Absolutely. Very looking forward to it. Thanks a lot. Thanks to our audience. And please, listeners, watchers, don't forget to click on the subscribe button on YouTube. Don't forget to click the bell, because there are so many different shows. There's so many different topics, not by myself, but there's so many amazing colleagues. You have to share a lot of amazing stuff about traveling, beauty, so many
Wellness,
topics.
you name it.
Wellness,
We even have a cooking show that's on every day. So we also have a new sponsor. I just want to point out his name is Dr. Felix Kravitz, and he's an expert when it comes to cybersecurity. Many people have been the victim of a cybersecurity scam. So let's take a look at this, and then we'll be back with Caroline Heward, the Harley Street stress expert. Thanks again. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
We face daily cyber risks, spending over 7 hours of screen time, including 4.5 hours on mobile phones. This convenience comes with significant dangers, with cybercrime costs predicted to exceed $10.5 trillion by 2025. In 2023 alone, seniors lost over $3.4 billion to cybercrime. Our goal is to make social engineering concepts of cybersecurity easier to understand. We work with business teams, senior living facilities, investment companies, and educational institutions, both individually and in groups. We offer real-life examples to help you recognize and prevent attacks, with sessions available both in person, in selected regions, and remotely. Schedule your training session, or to learn more, contact us today. Call us at 847-845-9360. Email us at info@cybersecurityeasy.com. Protect your team and family with cybersecurityeasy.com.
My name is Dr. Felix Kravitz, and I am the founder of cybersecurityeasy.com, LLC. We live in a world full of vulnerabilities and cyber risks. We spend almost 4.5 hours a day on our mobile phones. It's over 7 hours of screen time daily when including computer use. We often forget that this convenience comes with risks. Published data predicts that the cost of cybercrime will exceed $10.5 trillion in 2025. These numbers encompass not only businesses, but also each one of us, including our children and our parents. In 2023, the FBI reported over $3.4 billion lost by seniors aged 60 and older. Cybersecurityeasy.com LLC's initiative is to massively support the community by providing cyber safety coaching and improving social engineering awareness. Our goal is to make social engineering concepts of cybersecurity easier to understand. We work with business teams, seniors, and educational institutions, both individually and in groups. We cover various topics from phone phishing attacks to AI-generated voice cloning, robocalls, password protection, and more using life examples. Talk to us today. Call us at 847-845-9360 or email us at info@cybersecurityeasy.com.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence. Building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting the Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the secrets of visual impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette, building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you.